Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice HCV. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful morning. And this is probably the lightest I've dressed yet, even though a little chilly, but not too bad. Got my Florida look on me this morning. Still wearing my boot. Still wearing the boots just because they're so comfortable. And it still is kind of just some areas where it's a little dirty and muddy. And good old boy, good rebel. Good in the bathroom outside, not in the camper. We're getting close, everybody. It's close. Wow. Wife's gone. She's back on the job, like many other people too. Know that story. So here we are, the Wednesday morning conversations, getting the day going. A little bit of breeze. But yeah, I can say, probably should have put a little jacket on, because it's just a little breezy, but that camper is so warm. Camper's so warm, I really thought it was a little warmer out than it is. That camper's just comfy, cozy. Let's get in the house here and see what the puppies are doing. I thought showing you how to get in my house with all our secret codes. And this guy here wants to get in. And is anybody else here? Yeah, we got the gang here all waiting to play. There's Gypsy. There's Princey Boy. Come on, puppies. Let's get it going. Let's get a rocking. Let's get a moving. What do you got there in your mouth there, Rebel? Come on, Pops. Let's get over to the barn. As we progress, is it already Wednesday? Wow. Tracking time just seems like, wow. As you get older, the days just seem to fly by to a degree. Especially at daylight savings time, because you can stay out so much later. And before you know, it's like 9 o'clock. That's what happens. Because it stays late. Daylight, so we'll get 8 o'clock around here. It's just about 7:30. As we burn through the pile of wood, I'm still running my fire. I just like having a little fire, especially in the evening when it's a little cool. It's just a great time. As we progress over here, one of my John Porter guys said, "Hey, you taking that camper to anywhere off the property yet?" I'm like, no. Like everything else I own. Here's the Honda Afro Twin. Is that the Superman Dave bike? Is that the Evel Knievel bike with all the colors? I just love that bike. I mean, wow. So glad I kept it. I just about traded in the that bike instead of Transalp. I miss the Transalp, but this Gold Wing, this Adventure, I got the Adventure Sport. It's the highest line Afro Twin, where you got the electronic suspension, the tubeless tires. It just has all the nice amenities to it. And it really is a confident bike where I am riding around the property now, and I'm not worried about wiping out because it has that off-road capability, and it has traction control. So even though the tires are basically bald tires for the environment I'm riding on, but it does really well, and it's helping me kind of get back into the motorcycle spirit, and it's helping me get my motorcycle skills back as well. Come on, pups. Let's get you guys in. Come on, Will. Get on. And let's get the puppies here fed. Do that real quick. Got the doggies eating here. Got the food situated. And just kind of saves a little time on the video, because I know it does just take up time video. But here we are, yet again, another day of me trying to bring content to you on a YouTube channel that just survives by a whim. And, what do we talk about on the YouTube channel today? Now I thought to myself, let's talk about Tesla, because that seems to be a big word out there in today's world, and Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And I said yesterday, I just really don't want to feed the hate machine to what's going on in our country, because it really is bad. I mean, it really is bad. That, in my opinion, the Democrat Party is out of control, and it's unbelievable that we're witnessing a party and the people that support the Democratic Party that are mad that the uncovering of corruption in government is being shown like never seen. But as I've said a gazillion times on my channel, the Democratic Party will reverse that and make their followers believe that the Republican Party and a conservative like me is just a total screwball, and he's incompetent, and he has no idea what he's talking about, and he just spews misinformation all the time. And borderline, which YouTube does your channel anyways. They'll label you misinformer, and you get borderline shut down. So just incredible of what we're witnessing. And as I say, I just don't really want to feed the hate machine of the now opposing views of a Republican person to a Democratic person, when we should all be on the same page that if you know somebody's stealing your money and people are enriching themselves off of your money, wouldn't you think it'd only be right that you would bring this to attention? And now you probably can really honestly say to yourself, you probably now see more than ever why a typical political person isn't going to go down the road that Elon Musk is going down the road with, because you're seeing how tarnished he is getting. And so you just understand now more than ever, just reinforces nobody at the GAO, nobody at the CIA, nobody at the FBI, nobody in the government, like I just said, oversight committee, nobody in the Democratic Party, Republican Party, senator, congressman, they're not going to go down the path that Elon Musk has gone down, because you see how dirty and how bad it is, and how you'll just be, you'd probably be killed. If it wasn't for Elon Musk maybe having the stature and the money he has for incredible, you can only hope, security, you'd have to honestly say, if you as an internal employee of the government just wasn't that well financed or that high up, and you did what Elon Musk does, I'm going to guarantee you it'd be a Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton story of somebody that knew of a person that was associated with them, and they mysteriously are dead. I mean that's 100% factual. If you don't believe that, then you're just, once again. So, but the thing is, it creates the aggravation among us, because of, if you're a Democrat, you don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear that your party has cheated the system like never seen. You don't want to hear it. So it just irritates the hell out of you to hear a guy like the Iceman on Ice HTV to be talking politics when his channel's a lot about cars and motorcycles and having fun, but then he wants to bring up the reality of the world and the country we live in. And so I just think, wow, who could have imagined? Who could imagine? Not only did I say over and over again that for Donald Trump to run again for presidency, the hate machine is all going to show up all again. The media machine is going to be hate, and who's up for it? Even though there's no doubt somebody else could have run the Republican platform, and they could have been elected, and there would be hate. Now, as much hate, it would really come down to if this Republican person won that was, in the left's view, radical to change things, or that this person was more in the middle of the road, just would leave things alone, and just appease the Democratic Party, that just make the Republicans think that they're getting something, but they're not really getting anything. But the point is, who would have imagined with Donald Trump coming into the presidency for the second term, and a guy named Elon Musk would come with him, but you now have two of the most hated guys in the Democratic Party. Who can ever imagine that? But that, like, Elon Musk has actually even fueled the fire even more than just Trump. You know, we all know the hate of Donald Trump from the Democratic person. I mean, a Democratic person, when they hear Donald Trump's name, they borderline start foaming at the mouth. And so now to think you bring Elon Musk into the equation, and oh my gosh, I wouldn't even have guessed this, that it's going to get this radical of what we're witnessing right in our country, like never ever seen, and just how bad it is. And you know, it's incredible on how the Democratic Party, I give them credit to knowing how to use the judicial system, how to attack the conservatives. They definitely know how to the sway and the way how to just shut you the hell up. Because if you look right now, what's going on in the country, you're having the opposition of basically the Democratic-minded person go to Tesla stores, you know, personally attacking Elon Musk now and his company, and you have people now burning things in the streets again. Here we go again. You know, this is the summer of 2020. Remember the summer of love, where the Democratic Party was going. You remember when George Floyd died and everybody went nuts, and the burning of the cities and the burning of the streets. You know, it's in some ways it's all coming back all over again. The only difference is BLM hasn't shown up yet. I'm kind of surprised they haven't, but I guess the U.S. aid funding took that away from them. I guess George Soros just saw that using them for his agendas didn't play out because Donald Trump got reelected. So do they really have a value to George Soros or Alex Soros or the regimes in power behind the doors? So you just see yourself, wow. But what I'm saying here to you is the Democratic Party, they were smart because Donald Trump really, sadly, in so many ways, he didn't do it the right way because he should have had a rally outside of D.C. It was really bad, if you really think about it, for Donald Trump in so many ways to get people riled up about the stolen election and then to put them right there in the trap of going to the Capitol to circumvent the electoral votes by the sitting, senators of each state going to the Capitol Hill on January 6th to confirm electoral votes to confirm Joe Biden really was going to be elected the president. And so in so many ways, Donald Trump, borderline set up the, he helped the trap that got the people all riled up to go to the Capitol and then to enter a Capitol, and all those people got tarnished and were, many of them, sent to prison. Many of them sent without criminal records. And so you think to yourself, wow. But yet now, under Trump's policies and Musk's policies, that has really made people very, very mad, they just go and they go destroy the private sector, the private institutions, so they don't get thrown in jail as easily. And so I give them credit. You have to say to yourself, if you're going to be a violent person, you're going to have a lot more success attacking a person with not much stature, not much money, and a small business. They're easier to go attack because they just don't have the backing to have revenge or to attack you for the wrongdoings you did to them. Versus you go attack the federal government, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, they got all the money in the world. We know that. So it's interesting how the two different parties operate and how they can make you shut up versus the other party knows how to play the game and they won't shut up. So for me, once again, I just don't want to fuel the hate on our country, but at the same time, you just have to step back and say, wow, if you look at what happened in 2020, 2021, and then you look at how COVID came in, and I think most people would agree that the Democratic Party seemed to be more the push of the COVID agendas over the Republican conservative side, and not 100%, but it just would seem that the differences of the way COVID is handled from one party to another, the Democratic Party seemed to be the more stringent and strict of where if you didn't like their policies, you borderline went to jail as well. It's just during COVID. If you didn't wear a mask, if you went out shopping, if you went across the lines of a state and you're an essential worker, essential business, this goes on and on and on. So once again, you can give a check mark off to the Democratic Party of winning on how they can shutter and put people in silence versus the Republican Party. They just don't know how to handle that and they don't do it as well. So here's really what I really want to talk about, Tesla. So I got to think to myself, all it's about is Elon Musk more than ever because of him being part of this doge of trying to get our country and back in good standing for the most part, getting fiscally responsibility and to hopefully get this country righted from the direction it's going. But you think to yourself, Tesla, even for me, today we live in an age of so much information, it's so much misinformation. And I can honestly tell you, I have never really ever studied the research of Elon Musk. I never really gotten into books or looked into where he really came from, who he is. And I thought last night, you know what? I'm going to go to the X platform and I'm going to use his artificial intelligence, and I'm going to ask Grok, his artificial intelligence app on his website X, who is Elon Musk? Where did Tesla come from? And no, just stop it. Hey, Prince, chill out. Prince is getting all wound up. His voice gets a little aggressive every now. Then you really got to stay on him. They need to be fixed sooner or later, but the freaking hospitals around here are so booked up to have dogs fixed, they can't get to them until the 25th of March. It's unbelievable, man. I got to tell you what. Media wants to portray, even myself, you would think with all the havoc going on in the media of talking about the stock markets crashing, the tariffs are going to kill the whole country, blah, 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 blah. I would be the first to raise my hand and say all the motorcycle dealerships, all the car dealerships, these guys are going to be sucking wind. Well, I can tell you straight up, one of my good friends that runs a dealership that sells motorcycles, they had a killer weekend. They sold more product they've sold lately, and the killer weekend. From Friday to Saturday, they probably sold as many motorcycles in 2 days what most dealerships struggle to get in 1 month. So if anybody thinks that the people are, putting away the money and not spending money in this area, it's the same old story, man. The roads are packed. Costco's packed. Sam's packed. But I know people say, oh, but it's the government. Whoa, wait a second. Isn't the government people supposed to be scared as hell right now? They're going to lose their job? Would you be buying anything? Isn't the word in the market that everybody's losing their job? The government is so overrated. Not everybody's losing their job in the government. A percentage. You don't hear anybody getting all freaked out and scared when the Keystone Pipeline guys all got terminated after Joe Biden came into office and 10,000 people lost their job in one day. Didn't hear anybody freaking out the economy's going to crash over that, did you? You don't freak out when companies go out of bankrupt and go close and thousands of people lose their jobs, but yet the media will feed you that if X amount of federal employees lose their jobs, the country's going to come to a grinding halt. Borderline. And then the tariffs, if you think it through, on the tariffs of cars, is every car that we buy in our country made in Canada and Mexico? I think not. It's not. And all the tariffs, there's everything we buy. So there's so many variables there to what really plays out. And that's even ongoing. Hey, the GOP apparently kept the fiscal spending going till September. Apparently the GOP got the majority vote to keep the government from being furloughed, as far as I know. Democrats aren't happy, but they're keeping the going. So here's the thing, because we're out of time, but for Elon Musk, I said to myself, let's take the Elon Musk and run with the Elon Musk. If you see what my light does here. No, stop it, good old, where do you have it? So see here, this is where it goes, this is where it gets all screwed up. Because I just had the Grok thing here, and I'm so disappointed because I was asking all those questions, and now they're gone. So I should have screenshotted it. Oh, that's too bad, because it talks about Elon Musk, where he really came from, and I had it all here for you to look at, but dumb me, it automatically, when you exit out of X, I guess you lose all that. So anyways, it's too bad. It's, oh well, I'll just have to tell you what I kind of learned. I learned off the tip of my tongue reading it just shortly. But here's the thing. So Elon Musk came from Zip2. His true beginnings were Zip2, where, he came from South Africa. Then he became a Canadian citizen when he's 17 years old. Then he became an American citizen in 2002. But his true beginnings were he and his brother created Zip2, which back in 1998 was the internet mapping system for newspapers and mapping companies where people needed directions and stuff like that. I think that's what that was. So for Elon Musk, his first heyday he was a coder for the most part. He was a computer nerd coder. But Zip2 gave him a chunk of money to then go to PayPal, which PayPal was already an existing company that was being run by some very dynamic people. But he came along, he muscled his way in because he had money to buy himself in. And it just irritates the hell out of me. I just want to do here Tesla founders, because even for me, I didn't know this, but I got to look it up here for you. So anyways, so for Elon Musk, he started making his millions of dollars off these companies that he got involved with, And PayPal, he really had what is interesting. Back in 1999, he started a company called X.com. As you know, this platform's X, SpaceX. He loves the X number. So he got involved with PayPal. He didn't actually, develop it, but he was eventually a partner or a CEO or COO of that company, and he invested in it pretty well, so that when the company was sold out eventually, he got like $175 million off of his investments in his tenure at that company, and then other investors the same thing. So for him, he now had a decent amount of cash. He may have had from the Zip2 and then the PayPal. He probably had $200 million, and now in his bank account to start playing to do other things. Well, Tesla, I know Tesla was originally an electric company as far as electricity goes back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. I knew this. So did you know that Tesla Inc. was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning? They established the company in July 2003. Originally named Tesla Motors, with a focus on creating electric vehicles. Elon Musk is also associated with Tesla's founding because he joined the company early on as an investor and chairman, leading a series of funding around 2004. I was the original founders. Over time, Musk became the public face of Tesla and CEO, specifically shaping direction. Two other individuals, J.B. Straubel and Iron Wright, also joined earlier, sometimes recognized key contributors. So the official founders are Eberhard and Tarpenning, but Musk, Straubel, and Wright played critical roles in Tesla's early development. So that's very interesting. And what intrigued Elon Musk was that the car, that Sportster, what do they call the Tesla Roadster or whatever? So what really intrigued Elon Musk, he was so intrigued by those guys developing an electric Roadster car that they dumped millions and millions and millions of dollars into. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. Even Elon Musk dumped so much money in that Roadster car, and it never made it. And it came off the platform of General Motors, one of General Motors' electric cars that General Motors shuttered back like in 2001 or 2002. So it's very interesting that what drew Elon to Tesla was he wanted to have a car that was electric that would beat a gas car. That was his initial, I guess, excitement, was to be able to outdo ICE vehicles with an electric vehicle. I didn't really ever talk much about him talking about save the world and the green agenda. So for anybody out there that wonders about Tesla, I just gave you a little lesson, even myself, that, Elon basically bought the rights to Tesla. He basically bought out the original founders, and then he carried it on. But then here's the next thing that you hear all the time. You hear about how Elon Musk was given $1 billion from the Obama administration. That is not correct. It is so wrong. You hear people all the time run their mouth. And so let me do this right here. How much money did Elon borrow from the Obama administration for Tesla? So let's see what this says here for us. And here we go. Elon didn't personally borrow money from the Obama administration of Tesla, but Tesla, he had led a $465 million loan in January 2010. And this was actually part of an advanced technology vehicle manufacturing program, which actually came from George Bush. Believe it or not, George W. Bush started this program right before he was then replaced by Obama in 2008. But here's the thing. So Elon Musk borrowed $465 million, but it says that he paid in full with interest by May of 2013, that he paid off that loan. So a lot of people claim that Elon Musk took government money and never paid it back, and he's a dirtball. Well, that's not factual. And a lot of people claim he took $1 billion. That's not factual. So, it's just the misinformation, the lies. It just doesn't end on our society that somebody hears somebody say something and then they instantly take it and they run with it and they tell everybody the way it is. but it really isn't the way it is. So for Elon Musk, you say to yourself, well, why did Elon Musk, who was so much in with the Democratic Party, change? Let's do this here. Okay, hold on. Why did Elon Musk change parties under Obama? So let's see what that says. All right, I kind of said that. It's still listening to me. So how about that? Isn't that just so stupid? Does this does this just drive you nuts, everybody? It's hard, and like I say, I should have screenshot all this stuff because. All right. No, but now I got a problem. It's stuck. Here we go. Why did Elon Musk switch parties under Obama? I can't get it to work. Forget it. Technology just drive you nuts. I mean, it drives you nuts. The bottom line is, for Elon Musk, he was a big Obama supporter, but he started to see, believe it or not, Obama being more of a divided person than the singular person, or however you want to take and run with that. But Elon Musk began to disrespect Barack Obama because of what he saw, the actions and things he was doing, and his views to the conservatives. And even to Donald Trump. He really started feeling like what he was doing wasn't right, wasn't fair, and so Elon Musk switched. And that's what's so crazy about where we are. You think about Elon Musk, and you truly think about how the guy really was the Democratic Party favor. He really was the liberal-minded's savior to the world of building an electric car. And you just have to say to yourself, it's incredible that a guy that could continue to ride off the Democratic Party's energy of getting all these liberal people and all these Democratic people to support him, and finally he raised his hand and he said, I just can't take it anymore. And I'm just not going to support the Democratic Party anymore. And you see what's happened to him for him changing. And you just have to look at a Democratic person and say, but why a guy of that stature, the guy that had that type of money, why would the guy put everything on the line that he's done to switch sides of parties and even switch favoritism to a guy named Donald Trump that the Democratic Party will tell you is the most corrupt, meanest, terrible man in the world? This is so funny. So Grok is still listening to me. I mean, we all know we live in the age, whatever you say, you're being listened to somewhere, somehow. You'll find out down the road that your car sits in the garage. It's got a recording of you talking and videoing you, whatever you do. I can about guarantee on a Tesla car, that's probably pretty factual, because it has cameras all around the car, and it has, voice recognition capabilities. So when you go kill somebody that has a Tesla at their house, unbeknownst to you, they're probably going to know the Tesla car is going to be the witness to the scene of the crime. And that's, wow. So once again, Elon Musk is getting tarnished like never ever seen. The Democratic Party absolutely hates him, and they're going to do anything they can to bring him down. And you just have to say, once again, for Elon Musk, the guy that's the wealthiest man in the world, but it's changing because his stocks are falling and his brand is getting tarnished because people don't like him on the left. And they're doing anything they can to ruin him just to make them happy, because if he goes away, they think that everything will be okay. Which is like, really? So just get rid of Elon Musk, and then for us individuals seeing how corrupt the government is, we're just going to lay down, and we're just going to say, it never happened, and don't worry about it. And somebody else won't rise to the situation and realize this has to be addressed. So it's just beyond believable to think of the way these people think and how their brain operates, that being mean to somebody after it's been exposed, it's just like you going and committing a crime, and an individual saw you commit the crime, so now you're going to go try to get rid of them because you think because you got rid of those select few people that now that just resolves the problem and nobody knows you did the crime. I mean, it is so bad, everybody. But here's the other thing. Tesla actually was the number one sales of a car. We're not talking about SUVs or trucks, but last year, Tesla was the number one selling car in the world. So it's incredible how Elon Musk has gone, totally to the top of the world to now he's more challenged than ever because he's now surrounded himself around the conservative party and a man named Donald Trump, which the world has been brainwashed to believe Donald Trump is a Nazi, he's Hitler, and he's going to undermine and destroy this country, and he's going to start driving around, having people drive around. Oh, wait a second, they're already doing that, Iceman. Oh, ICE? What? Hey, that's interesting. ICE? Wonder who the ICE are. Yeah, he's already doing that. Yeah, he's already rounded up. But here's what's really interesting, how Elon Musk point blank says, he had a Larry Kudlow personal interview here just a few days ago, and he point blank says the Democratic Party brings in illegal people, and they house them, they feed them, they give them medical, they give them everything they want because they're buying illegal votes. That's all they're doing. So for all illegals coming here, he point blank says the bottom line is the Democratic Party is bringing illegals in, and they're going to have no voter ID, and it's a no-brainer that they're just bringing people in to buy votes to keep their party and political party in power. It's so bad when you have to cheat your ass off to beat somebody else. And how do you feel about that? So as an individual, how do you feel that you support a system that requires cheating to win? So as an example, how would you feel if you knew your son or daughter worked very hard in going to college and studied very hard, and then you come to find out those around them used artificial intelligence, and this goes on, don't get me wrong, but those around them stole and cheated like never seen, and in the end, they were chosen for maybe a position in a company because they cheated and they lied, versus your daughter or son, they went through the correct way of learning and rising to a stature, but they weren't picked. Does this sound like DEI? I mean, so this is what's so bad. We literally live in a country more than ever where we have possibly a third, I would say a third, I don't think it's half, of the citizens of our country that support the stealing and cheating and corruption in order to beat somebody else or either to get ahead. Wow, it's that bad. So basically, you've sold your soul, which I've said that my whole life is, when you have to sell your soul to advance yourself in life, why? I mean, really? That's how desperate you are, and that's how bad you are? Because these are bad people. And unfortunately, a guy like Elon Musk is trying to share with others in our country that we have a lot of bad people around us, and we have to make it right. But so many other bad people support him, it's extremely challenging to make it right. So very interesting times. Elon Musk surprised me. He claims that he's going to actually, he's going to extend another year in his Doge experience. All right, the kid, you're not being video, they're watching my face, so the kid doesn't want to be video. So so I'm going to have to get going because everybody's coming here to work. But I was surprised. I really felt that Elon Musk would probably step down and move on once he kind of got the program in place. But he's not leaving. Wow. And am I very concerned about his well-being? Because he does, in some ways, seem to have a lackadaisical, in some ways, you see him kind of out and about doing things, you just kind of wonder yourself, wow. I mean, it's so bad, everybody, and it's so sad that there's no doubt in my mind, there's people just trying to figure out how to get rid of Elon Musk. More than Donald Trump. That's the reality. Elon Musk is now probably more risk of being, no longer being here with us, probably more than Donald Trump. Wow. That's it. I got to go. Appreciate everybody's support. Hope you got a little information today. Hope you learned something. And you know, that's all. It's just me sharing information, me trying to resonate with you, which I think, hey, Diesel, no, don't do that. Here he is. No, stop it. You're being bad. I'll smack your butt. I just bought another freaking bed here for him. Don't do that. You're bad. Where's a toy for you? All right, that's it. I got a lot going on. So everybody have a blessed day. Stay tuned for more adventures on Ice Age TV. God bless.